Welcome to the Adventure Motorhomes Struck by Hazards Training. The Occupational Safety and Health Administration, or OSHA, has identified the top 4 hazards in the construction industry. Due to the nature of our business, we are utilizing the OSHA Focus 4 Hazards methodology and training to educate and better protect our workers. In this particular module, we're going to focus on struck by hazards. The goal for this training is to provide you, our valued employee, with information that will enable you to recognize various types of common struck by hazards and learn how to better avoid them. So what is a struck by hazard? It can be very simply defined as injuries produced by forcible contact or impact between the injured person and an object or piece of equipment. Now, it's important to note that a struck by injury is not the same as a caught in between injury. In a struck by injury, the injury occurs as a result of an object doing the striking, whereas a caught in between injury results in more of a crushing injury. OSHA categorizes struck by hazards in one of 4 categories: struck by flying object, struck by falling object, struck by swinging object, and struck by rolling object. At our dealerships, the daily routine is anything but routine. Technicians find themselves on top of motorhomes, under travel trailers, and inside of fifth wheels. Their work involves lifting, pulling, squatting, laying, standing, and various other contortions just to get the job done. In addition, they use a myriad of different tools, both hand and power, to carry out their duties. Struck by hazards can come from an untold number of sources, but they include vehicles moving around the property, flying debris from tools and other materials, products and materials falling from shelves, RV components not properly secured. Our various construction and reno sites have their own set of unique challenges. Sometimes our dealerships are the worksite, so the hazards are multiplied. Listed here are a few of the challenges our construction teams face. Heavy equipment working and moving around the site, construction vehicles in and out of various work areas, falling tools, flying materials such as nails from an air gun, a coworker nearby grinding metal, things of that nature, and rigging that's hanging or swinging from equipment. So how can you protect yourself and teammates from struck by hazards? Well, with respect to heavy equipment, the following suggestions can go a long way towards keeping you safe. Let's take a brief moment to run through them. Stay away from heavy equipment when it's operating. In fact, be alert to the location of all heavy equipment, whether it's in use or not. Stay clear of lifted loads and never work under a suspended load. Beware of unbalanced loads. Workers should confirm and receive acknowledgement from the heavy equipment operator that they are visible and in fact can be seen from the equipment. Be aware of the swing radius of cranes and excavators, backhoes, and equipment like that, and do not enter that zone. Drive equipment or vehicles on grades or roadways that are safely constructed and maintained. Make sure that all workers and other personnel are in the clear before using dumping or lifting devices. Lower or block bulldozers and scraper blades and end loader buckets, dump bodies, etc. when not in use, and leave all controls in the neutral position. Haulage vehicles that are loaded by cranes, power shovels, loaders, etc. must have a cab shield or canopy that protects the driver from falling materials. Do not rely solely on hard hats. Do not exceed a vehicle's rated load or lift capacity. Do not carry personnel unless there is a safe place to ride. With respect to motor vehicles at our dealerships and construction sites, always wear seat belts when provided. Check vehicles before each shift to assure that all parts and accessories are in safe operating condition. Do not drive a vehicle in reverse gear with an obstructed rear view unless it has an audible reverse alarm or another worker is there to guide and signal you. Set parking brakes when vehicles and equipment are parked and chock the wheels if they are on an incline. All vehicles must have adequate braking systems and other safety devices. Use traffic signs, barricades, or flaggers when construction takes place near public roadways. Workers must be highly visible in all levels of light. Warning clothing such as red or orange vests are required, and if worn for night work, must be reflective. Whether you're at one of our dealerships or a construction site, here are a few general safe work practices that will help keep you safe. When working with compressed air, reduce air pressure to 30 psi if used for cleaning, and use only with appropriate guarding and proper protective equipment, and never clean clothing with compressed air. When working with hand tools, do not use tools with loose, cracked, or splintered handles, and do not use impact tools with mushroomed heads. When working with machines such as jackhammers, pavement saws, be sure to be trained on safe operation of the machinery. Inspect the machinery, ensure that all the guards are in place and working. Protect your feet, eyes and ears and hands, and always wear hearing protection. When performing overhead work, secure all tools and materials. Use tow boards, screens, guardrails, and debris nets. Barricade the area and post signs, and be sure materials stored in buildings under construction are placed farther than 6 feet of hoistway floor openings and more than 10 feet from an exterior wall. When working with powder-actuated tools, be sure to be trained and licensed to operate these tools if that's required. When working with power tools such as saws, drills, grinders, and the like, be sure to be trained on how to safely use the power tool. Inspect those tools prior to each use, wear safety goggles, operate according to manufacturer's instructions, and ensure that all required guards are in place. When pushing or pulling objects that may become airborne, stack and secure materials to prevent sliding, falling, or collapse. Keep work areas clear and secure material against wind gusts. Lastly, here are some steps you can take when on a construction site to minimize your risk of injury. Wear high visibility reflective clothing. Do not put yourself at risk of being struck by a vehicle, and do not get caught in a situation where there's no escape route. Do not direct traffic unless you are the flagger. Check that necessary warning signs are posted. Never cross the path of a backing vehicle, and follow the designated exit and entry worksite traffic plan. We hope you have found this training to be helpful and informative. Thank you for your participation.